What is up, guys? Today we have a very special video. I've been actually putting off doing this video since I wanted to make sure that I do it right. A few months ago I stumbled across this plugin called Elysion. In a second I'm going to show you what it is, what you can do with it, but in short it's a ambient synth, and it makes creating ambient, atmospheric, cinematic stuff so easy. This thing is a powerhouse for ambient stuff, and you guys know me, I focus on melodic bass music like trance, melodic dubstep, all of that, and the ambience is really center thing in those genres, like creating tracks that blow your mind. Today we will be taking a look at that plugin, and I'm going to show you how to use it, but also how to create melodic loops really fast. And this thing is really efficient in getting your ideas to the door. But short disclaimer before we start this video: I reached out to Sonscore and Best Service to do this review, so keep that in mind. And also there's nothing also, so let's dive to the tutorial. Yeah, of course, check out the link down below. There you can find Elysion, there you can listen to demos and all of that good stuff. And you guys know the drill, so let's dive to the tutorial and get this thing started. We are here in FL Studio looking at the main window of Elysion. This is a ambient synth for Kontakt, so you do need Kontakt for this thing to work. That being said, these tips that I'm going to show in this tutorial are applicable for other synths as well, so even if you do not have Kontakt or Elysion, still keep watching. This is going to be a very informational tutorial if you want to build up cool ambient sequences or really take your tracks to completely new level by enriching the soundscapes of your music. So what is Elysion? Elysion is an ambient synth. It's synthesized sound sampled and then put into this Kontakt format. That way the creators of the synth Sonscore and the Best Service have been able to create this really cool, natural sounding organic instrument that is still synthetic. With that approach, we are able to have these really otherworldly and rich sounds with full round-robin capabilities. Besides the really crazy-looking UI, if I change the mod wheel, you can see the horizon blaze up. It's just this synth is packed with features. So let's dive in. And what I thought I'd do today is create some sort of intro sequence or atmospheric sequence for you guys, and also at the same time show what this thing can do. I'm going to start by finding cool sounding pad to lay out the chords. As you can hear, these are really atmospheric. It's so easy to just pick the chords and the mood is already set. I'm going to use this really simple chord progression. We have D sharp, B, F sharp, and C sharp. Then we will take all of these and put them like that, and if we want we can turn these into full chords, and this requires a little bit of music theory, but voila. And then I'm going to smooth out the chord changes like that. And let's play that. We might want to have this like. Yeah, that's perfect. I'm going to automate this mod wheel, and to do that I'm going to go to the editor or thumbnail, and I'll scroll down to find the mod wheel over here. Yep, it's this one. Create automation clip. Like that, we have the mod wheel mapped out, and I'm going to just create this random ramp. This is so cool. You might need headphones to hear this, but like there is this low oscillating noise, which is just it's so cool. This is quite fragile instrument, even though it's layered. I might want to layer this up with another pad sound to like beef it up just a little bit and to really emphasize the chord movement. So let's try and to find another pad, maybe a little bit more traditional, like something like this. It's just beautiful. So the way this instrument is works is that you have these pre-made themes or presets. You have pads and hits in this fair category, and then you have pulses, which are these like of those like cinematic ARP sequences. Then you have these animated like full-on themes, which are like inside of all of these presets or like pre-made themes, you have all of the individual instruments. Each preset can have up to 5 different instruments. So as an example, this one. It has 4 different instruments. So let me just mute these. You have this bending the light. You have these really quiet strings. This blurred dream piano. And then this glitchy texture. And you're actually able to change up any of these instruments by going into this menu, and here you can choose like sustained instrument, hits, ambience, you have soft, hard, and here you have all the different instruments. So it's really modular. Also in this main window you see these ARP or like sequence windows, and let's go to the more ambient paddy texture. You can see how it follows up this ARP sequence, and if I wanted to, I could just like change it up. You can change timings, swing, humanize it, like do pretty much everything. Really cool stuff. You can change up all of these presets to match the desired vision that you have. Then you have this pan engine, and it's easy to show in this first pad. Like, I think this did it really well. You have the you can hear the difference. Everything is really centered if I turn this off. Then if I turn it on, you can hear the sound moving across the speakers or headphones. And it really brings this thing alive. And also, again, here you could change it up, like do whatever you want with these. Then you have the mixing window, which has all of the basic mixing features, your reverbs, delays, panning, like everything. And also you are able to map these out to the mod wheel. So if you want, you can like map out the delay to be increased at the later parts of the mod wheel curve. It's time to continue with the sequence. I'm going to pick some sort of plucky instrument. Let's lay down the chords. And we'll do just something really simple, and it sounds like this. Then we could try to find some sort of bass sequence. Usually when I'm creating tracks, I like to fill up the whole whole spectrum. So right now we have a lot of stuff going on in the middle. We could maybe try to find something bassy to fill out the low end, and maybe something to fill up the high end later. So let's try one of these pulses. And we will be using these bass notes. Or root notes. And this is kind of cool trick. You are able to open up this Kontakt window where you have this BPM. Right now it's set to external, so it's following my DAW's BPM. But I can manually take this and change it up to whatever I'd like to use. 72.5. And now the up plays on half tempo. Woo! This is too good. I'm like, literally, it's 31 degrees Celsius here in Finland, so I'm like literally melting. You probably can see the sweat just dripping down my face, but like, I'm not sure if it's the heat or if it's the Elysion. Like, I'm absolutely stoked about this VST, and like, I can happily endorse this thing to you guys. It's like, it's really cool thing. Let's just mod wheel this bass and like listen to this. It's too good. Then I'm going to find something for our top end. Let's use this one. It's great starter. So I'm going to pick our root note. But I'd like to use maybe some other synth to create the melody. So let's try this one. Let's just have it like play these notes. Here at the end, let's do a little twist. Next, I'm going to find something to create a cool melody with. Let's clone this. And this could be something to try. And how I like to create melodies is I usually use call and response. So as an example here, I'd like to start, since we are really like emphasizing our root note, which is the D sharp, I'd like to start the melody with D sharp. So maybe something like that. Or maybe some sort of like triplet feel. Maybe slower. Maybe higher up. And here I'm kind of having like, I have the first motif, then have variation, then repetition, and then I'm going to like change it up for the final. Let's try this one. Let's not let it resolve. This is just too good. And like the crazy thing about this is that we haven't actually used any external effects. Like this is all inside of this Kontakt instrument. Like if I'd spent good 30 minutes mixing this up and like really like perfecting it, like it's just so easy to create melodies with this thing. I love it. Just to recap this thing, I'm really huge fan of creating rich and interesting soundscapes inside of my tracks. I like to create stories and build worlds. I really want the listener to imagine that they are in some sort of world, whatever it is for that track. So like Elysion for me is a tool to do exactly that, to create some sort of like really cool thing that hooks up the listener, instead of using like plain patches from normal synths like Vital or Silent or whatever. Like this thing has the textures, this thing has the interesting nuances to really hook up your audience, and that's why I really love it. And like this thing, like that's already I'm sold. But let's play this thing once again, and you're gonna hear it. Let's play this thing one more time so you can hear what we did. That's Elysion for you guys. Check out the links down below in the description. There you have some proper demos. This was done in like really short time. No mixing, no like we didn't even use the like the velocities of these instruments. Like this really doesn't do the justice to this instrument, but it showcases how effective this thing can be to really fastly lay out some sort of really cool atmospheric loops and like to get started with sound design. And like for me this tool is especially like effective for layering up stuff. So let's say I create some sort of pad and it lacks the character. I come to Elysion, pick one of the pads and lay it on top of my instrument. That way like it's great. But check out the demos. There you can really hear what this thing can do. We unfortunately do not have time to go in the full depths of this instrument here, but I hope you learned something new. I hope this gave you some sort of insight on about like what Elysion can do, and I'll catch you guys in the next tutorial.